Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about Star Wars Unlimited. This has been a bit of a long time coming. As of probably about 2 weeks ago, we got the announcement of the Planetary Qualifier prizing, and we also got some blowback, some drama, and so I've been waiting patiently for FFG to release an updated statement, as they said they would, about a day or so. No, I think the same day pretty much as the announcement, which kudos, absolute kudos. They at least were listening, and it remains to be seen what they were doing and whether or not they were going to do anything effective. We now know, and so I think it's time to discuss the Planetary Qualifier kit in its entirety and what you get. So, for those of you, just to catch you up, if you do not know what these are, what are Planetary Qualifiers, this is the first lowest tier in the organised play ladder for the Star Wars Unlimited competitive side of events. So on the casual side, you have your locals and you have your store showdowns, and that's as much as you get if you are casual. If you are more competitive, what you're going to get is we have Planetary Qualifiers, which they say they're going to be about 150 worldwide per set. So you can kind of expect to have at least one you can go to a set, at least. Probably more if you're willing to, a lot more if you're willing to travel. I myself am going to 3 in the UK, and I imagine I'll have access to like around 10 in a given set. I'm probably not going to go to all 10. That is crazy. Like, I don't know if I'll live. And that's without me leaving the country, right? If I start going to Europe, okay, like that is not enough time in the day, right? Literally not enough. But anyway, so there's going to be a lot of these, right? This is the lowest tier. Above that, we have sectors and regionals, which are 2-day events. I believe sectors are the bigger ones and regionals are the slightly smaller ones. We have no information on those just yet. Remains to be seen, but those are the next tier up. And then, of course, you have Galactic at the very top. Now, the theory is... I'm sorry, I left my notifications on. Now, the theory is what's meant to happen is from year 1 onwards, you will be able to gain points to qualify you for the Galactic Championship at all of these events, right? Planetary, sector, and regional. Now, for year 1, they are not doing the point system. The Galactic Championship is going to be open invite, and so the prizing on offer is slightly different in terms of that side of things. But in terms of the actual kits and the actual like main prize support, I would have expected this to be representative of what we're going to get moving forward. Caveated, of course, like if things go badly, as they did, that there will hopefully be some sort of response. So now you have some sort of background. The other thing that's useful to know is sort of the scale of these, right? So there's 150 worldwide. There's a lot per set. So like in a given season, right, like in a given year, for the Galactic Championship, there will be 450 planetary qualifiers that you can go to. That's a lot. That's a lot of them. So we're not expecting anything like... I wasn't expecting anything life-changing here, right? This is the lowest tier. Now, I was expecting something good, and we'll come to that. But my real expectation for like where you're probably going to get like the really, really cool and exciting prizing, I would expect that in Sector and Regionals and Galactic, right? Like I would expect this to be like good enough to entice you to go and enough to make someone willing to go travel. You know, fundamentally you can instantly qualify for Galactic if you win one of these, so it's not like, you know, it's a bad prize. But anyway, let's get started. Now we can actually have a discussion. Sorry, my phone's going crazy. Now we can have an actual discussion as to what we get here. But before that, do you want to win a ticket or two to the upcoming premiere event for Star Wars Unlimited Twilight of the Republic? Well, enter my giveaway, linked in the description below. There we go. Anyway, right. Let's continue. So let's have a look. Okay. So firstly, if you win, you get this champion playmat. I really like this. I really like that it is the key art. This is the only playmat where you're getting that key art on it. I really like that it just says champion all the way across it. I hate playmats that don't make it clear, like, what you had to do to get them. Because, like, I've had to slug through a tournament, right? Like, I deserve to look at that playmat and go, yeah, I made it through. I know that. And I'm glad this says... some people were saying, like, oh, it says champion too big. Nah. In fact, it doesn't say champion big enough, in my opinion. No, this is very, very cool. Big fan. Love Maul. Nice, prominent. Really nice looking playmat. And obviously, with each set, it's going to be the new key art, so I'm going to want the set 3 one real bad. But anyway, so if you're the winner, you get this. And in theory, you also get a... qualification to the Galactic Championship, but obviously for this year that is you skip day 1, which is crazy, and there's actually going to be some more to talk about that in a little bit, but let's continue. Let's keep looking at the prize kit. So next we got our participation card, which here we go. So this was legal authority, which is fine. Now here's the issue. They said this kit only comes with 64 participation cards, and and the Planetary Qualifiers are 128 players. So, okay, issue number 1, why are there not enough participation promos for everyone who is participating? So this seemed like a really easy fix, right? Just like, just print more promos and send them out. Okay, fine. So this one was probably pretty easy. And this is a nice alt art, and I think the card is decent, right? Like, I don't think this is a bad card. Now, I do think this is a slightly more appropriate participation promo for a store showdown, because what I really would like to see at any kind of competitive tier event is either a card they know for sure is really playable, right? Like 100%, or an iconic character. And I think that's like, when you look at the way it's sort of, if you wanted to guarantee it, I would have just gone, just choose an iconic character. There's, you know, take your pick of them from this set. There's plenty of them. It's going to be easy enough to find like who the iconic characters are, and just make those into the prize cards. That would have been a home run for me. But legal authority, fine, no issues. Okay, so everyone who goes, in theory, is meant to get one of these, but obviously there was only 64 announced. Okay, well, again, we'll talk about that later in the response. And we can see here what they actually look like in person. Can we? Is it going to let me? There we go. So that's what it looks like, and then there'll be a judge version, obviously. Okay, fine. Let's look at the prize card. And the actual prize card is Dr. Evazan. Oh, FFG. Oh, FFG. So, okay. First thing to say is, right, and I think we'll get it here. So, these are awarded all the way down to top 16. So, if you win, you get 5 of them, right? But if you top 16, you get 1, top 8, top 4, and finalist, okay? So, the first thing I want to make clear is the structure of this is actually fine. I have no issue with it being, like, if anything, this is amazing, right? Like, you can get a lot of copies of this promo with different stamps on it. I think that's really, really good. Why was it Dr. Evazan? Like, the only thing I can think of is that the devs thought this card was going to be really strong in testing, and it has shaken out in wider play that it's actually not that good, and that's fine, right? Like, that happens, and I think that's why I would say, like, for me, the really obvious choice was just choose Maul, right? Like, just it's Maul. He's on the cover, he's on the playmat. We know he's a good card, and I think if this card had been Maul, there would have been no complaining, right? Like, everyone would have been like, oh, this is amazing, right? Outside of the lack of participation promos. So, in my opinion, the way to fix this was bump up the participation promos and then figure out a way to print a new promo if you can. That one's potentially not doable. And at the time they announced this, the Planetary Qualifiers were, I think, about 10 days away. So in hindsight, I think I didn't realize they were starting this weekend at the time of this recording. So I thought they had a whole extra week. And I was like, okay, well, if they've got a whole extra week, like, they can probably get it together. But on the timescales they had, I appreciate it was not feasible. And they probably didn't want to deal with the logistics of having to mail everyone who topped, like, the whole thing. So yeah, that's a whole thing. So fine. Okay. What else do you get? Well, there is something else. The top 4 also get a Star Wars Unlimited branded initiative token, which is made of acrylic and has this planetary, this sort of competitive circuit symbol on it. Looks fine. It looks a lot like cardboard in this on screen, but I've been assured by the video that it is acrylic. Okay, I trust you. I don't know why you'd lie about that kind of thing. Okay, so that is what you get in the kit, right? So to sort of summarize briefly the state of play, it was announced that if you got, in theory it was meant to be participation, but basically if you got top 64, you got a legal authority. Okay. If you got top 16, you got an Evazan. Top 8, you got another Evazan. Top 4, you get another Evazan, and you get one of these initiative tokens. Finally, you get another Evazan, and winning, you get an extra Evazan, a playmat for the champion, and you skip day to day 2 at the Galactic Championships. I think it's fair to say the pricing's pretty top heavy at these things, but that's fine. And I think in terms of, as I sort of, discussed, the structure itself is actually fine, right? Like, if you have a good prize card. Now, I would like there to be 2. What I would have really liked is there was like 2 or 3 levels, right? There was like a top 32 prize card, a top 16 prize card, and a top 8 prize card, and they were all different. And so if you won, or if you made finals, you would get 3, or so like it was possible to get a playset of all of them. And, like, it would be really cool because you could get, like, you go home with all these promos, right? Like, you could be literally carting around, like, a fistful of promos, right? That'd be great. Yeah, I appreciate that was probably a little bit overly optimistic. And, again, this is the lowest tier, so I don't think that's really a big deal. But what I do think the big deal is the card choices. So, FFG then released this press release, which let's have a look at. Okay, so, just move that there. Now you can read the whole thing. Okay, so let's read together. First, we want to thank you all for sharing your feedback on the Planetary qualifiers. Based on that feedback, we have some updates along with some new information to share. As an additional 64 participation cards have already been sent to all Planetary qualifier stores. Okay, great. W. This has been fixed for every Planetary qualifier going forward, with 128 participation promos included in each event. Okay, great. W. As an extra reward for Season 0, 6 booster displays, so that's a case, has been sent to all Planetary qualifier stores to be used as additional prize support. So this means that every single store is being sent enough participation packs for one per person by FFG. So there is no excuse for you to not get a little something, right? Like for going. If your stores are keeping this, this is like giga scumbaggery, right? But okay, so let's keep reading, and then I want to sort of say this here. So also, we heard the message that the cards we are providing are not as iconic as you all hoped they would be. Damn straight. Rest assured, our teams are already hard at work evaluating what these cards will look like for the future to better meet your expectations. Okay, so let's just pause there for a moment, then we'll read the last bit, because I think that's sort of the main thing, right? That to me, this has addressed the issue as best as they probably could on these timescales. I don't think it was actually. I really don't think it's fair to expect anything further for this set. Now, set 3 is coming up real soon, and I don't know when the PQs for set 3 are going to start, but I guess probably in December, so we'll see. I mean, they got a lot of time, right? Like, they got a lot longer to hopefully fix the situation. But to me, what I took this as is, okay, firstly, the issue that should never have happened, right? The participation promos not being for participation, that's been fixed. Okay, great, W. And the problem with the prize cards is basically them going, okay, we realized we have very much fumbled the bag on the cards and the promo selection for this set. Sorry, we're going to evaluate it in future. I think, and to really emphasize this to FFG, either pick a card you know for sure is going to be broken, or an iconic, legendary, or rare. That's it, right? I think that's the only way to be safe, unless you are able to like delay the production until like the sets are actually out. But like that's basically going to be impossible. So like I personally, I would just err on the side. I had a tweet where I went like this crazy structure that I thought would be like really hype, and would probably like make a lot of people very happy. But anyway, whatever. So to make up for the fact that we basically aren't able to do anything about it right now, we're sending out 40 cases basically to all the stores that are hosting it, and I think that's totally fair. I think like, look, sending every single store a case is probably like not the cheapest thing in the world. So like, yeah, I think this is good. I think this is a really good stopgap. Obviously, like if they could have sent out 10 cases, that would have been better. But again, let's be reasonable here, right? Like at the end of the day, it's sealed product at the end of a set. It's only of limited value. And like showering me in the sealed product wasn't really going to do anything meaningful and may actually have a negative effect on the market if they send out too much. Not that much. Let's not exaggerate here, but yeah, it is what it is, right? Like, it is what it is. And maybe, like, the stores will be able to host, like, a free draft or something on, like, the next day for every participant or something like that. I don't know. They can choose out what they want to do with it, right? So, overall, I think this is, like, a 9 out of 10 response, with a 10 out of 10 being something that I now realize, in hindsight, was actually not possible on the timescales they were working with. Caveated with, I am currently putting my faith in the fact that it basically... This is the first time I have been let down by FFG and how they've been handling this. I have been very much uplifted by their response to it and the fact that they reacted very quickly to initially say they're good. So they initially said, okay, we're going to say something very quickly. That was good. It took them a little longer than I might have liked to say something, but they said something pretty quick. Considering the amount of like approvals and like how long these sorts of things take, I think this is a win. I think they've done very well here, and I think credit must be given where it is deserved. The caveat there being, we now need to see what it looks like moving forward, because if they say this, and we take them at face value, and then they don't fix the problem, and we keep getting bad promos, that is, you know, that's going to reduce the value of this. So, congratulations FFG, kudos, good response, but let's see, like, stick the landing, right? Like, right now, you're up high, let's stick the landing, and we can go from there. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is this final line here, which you may have read as I yapped. Lastly, as many of you know, winners of the Planetary qualifiers will receive a Day 1 buy for the Galactic Championship. We're excited to share that because of that, there will be a special event for the PQ winners on that first day with exclusive swag. Oh, now I want to win one so bad. Be sure to tune in to our live stream on October 23rd to get the full download on all things related to the Galactic Championship. So, firstly, that's a really big announcement to just throw into here. Like, oh, by the way, Galactic Championship news coming really soon. Okay, that's really exciting. I kind of expected we'd get some sector or regional news first, but whatever. Not complaining, certainly not complaining. And I'm very excited to see what this exclusive swag is. And now I really want to win a PQ because, man, that's exciting. I'm hopeful that they will have this, like, the same day 2 skip for, like, topping a sector or a regional, because I feel like that's more achievable. But anyway, so that is the PQ pricing update, the state of play, and my opinion on it. What do you guys think, though? I'd really be interested to know, because I think I saw a lot of very, very varied views in the community as to the initial pricing, people's response to the pricing, and people's response to the pricing, right? And I think as someone who comes from a card game background that is quite wide, but actually not many I haven't played competitive Magic, right? I think that's the only game I haven't really played competitively that's like very, very big here, right? I haven't interacted with that whole structure and pricing and all that sort of stuff. So excluding Magic, I have a pretty good perspective on what the industry looks like. And I gotta say, like, structure-wise, again, not talking about the promo, in terms of what you can win, this is incredible for a 128-person event. The smallest tier, the amount of stuff you can get is really, really good. I mean, Store Showdown's also amazing, right? Like, for what you can get. And so I think, like, personally, I really was just like, all they had to do was just not fumble the prize card choice, and, like, I think everyone's happy. So let's see what happens going forward. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. Win a free ticket to this tournament. You can win a flight to the Galactic Championship and you can win a case. It's insane. Please do check it out, linked in the description below. Thanks so much for watching and hope to see you guys in the next video. Cheers.